Howdy, and welcome to Book Here, Give Here. We're travel that gives. I'm Lulu Lima, your chief travel guru. I hope this episode of Dream Now, Travel Later inspires you to travel, and I invite you to give us the opportunity to help plan your next memorable trip. So grab your popcorn and enjoy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back. As always, we're here to talk about travel, and this time around, I've decided that we needed a little bit more music in our life. So with that, Staci Flores from Nashville is going to tell us all about the Music City, because I'm here in Austin, I've got live music, but they have got so much more. So with that, I'm not going to take away any more musical talent because I've got none. And all I can do is the travel part of it, but I can get you to music. So take it away.
So to start off, thank you everyone for joining us today and welcome. Just to correct, my name is Staci, but my sister's name is Stephanie. So you must have read some wavelength and realized that I do have a sister named Stephanie.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. For some reason
No. Not a problem. I just want to make sure at any point if they need to contact me, they're contacting the right Staci Flores. So yes, we're going to get into it, but we have 4 different topics that Book Here, Give Here likes to cover when they're looking at different destinations. And just before we get into any of them, I just do want to talk about the Nashville Promise. So Music City, kind of like a lot of other organizations or companies, we too have a mission statement and a promise. And the promise of Nashville, where the music is inspired, created, and recorded and performed, is to provide the ultimate musical entertainment experience, celebrated through our diverse cultural entertainment offerings and presented in an authentic, unique, friendly, and unpretentious atmosphere. And it's truly something that we try to ingrain when we have trainings here in the city, just for our front of the line, back of the line. And we hope that when you come to Music City, you really do feel that friendly atmosphere and feel welcome from the moment you step off the plane at B&A or get off a motor coach or jump out of your car. So with that, we will get into the first topic of wellness.
Yeah, and how awesome is that? So I love your whole concept of just being all-inclusive. And so how great is that? And so that should really already give you that amazing wellness feeling. So music does so much to us in our mind, body, spirit, right? It drives us. So we should really have that amazing conversation.
I would love to. So yes, as you said, music is going to be, everyone looks at music differently. Some people like to listen to music. Some people feel that writing music is a way to release, their emotions, and other people love playing music. So music is therapy for the mind, the body, and the soul, and everyone takes it in and produces it differently. But, I think that a healthy human being is someone that can express themselves and release those thoughts and emotions. So in Nashville, we have the largest songwriting community in the world, and we've produced our 2nd songwriter documentary, and we really try to focus on the people behind the scenes. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and play the trailer. This movie was just released on Amazon, and it's also available on Hulu. So I'll let you play it and we'll talk about it after.
Awesome. And of course, I'm having some technical difficulties. So here we go. Let's try this.
I've been fortunate. I've had 42 top 20 singles, and 25 of those songs ended up being number 1s, which means nobody knows.
This amazing video.
I'm the guy that wrote Try for Pink.
You Give Love a Bad Name. Living La Vida Loca.
Faithfully.
Grenade, Party in the USA.
Stay.
The Climb.
A little less conversation.
Look like you were dying.
Got a little faith in me.
Change the world.
What hurts the most?
I'm the guy that wrote Jesus Take the Wheel. Well, I should say it this way. I'm one of the 3 people that wrote Jesus Take the Wheel.
Some of the first songs I wrote with him in mind. I thought to myself, I'm going to get a song to him, if nothing else. As the snow flies on a cold and gray Chicago morning, a poor little baby child is
some reason or another, the video has not played.
It was a title my father had given me.
Guys,
he said,
give
no,
me
you're
1 second
not coming
here.
home, John. Don't lose that idea. Don't stop believing. I mean it. Don't stop believing.
Sorry about that.
I'm sitting right there
Here we go.
when a guy named Tony Arata's on stage. And then here comes a song called The Dance. Looking back on memory of the dance we shared.
This is a songwriting town.
I can promise you there's 100 songs being written right now in this town, this very second. And it makes Nashville a very unique place.
And we're sitting with a guitar and we're just trying to mean something. That means something to somebody else.
But he never could get drunk enough to get her off his mind till that bottle to his head and pulled the trigger.
Just think of all the things that very rarely you do that you don't hear music. And everybody forgets that it started with a songwriter.
And in this world right now, I think people are longing to feel like we're all connected, you know? So, I mean, I think songwriting is more important than it's ever been.
So how awesome is that we really are focused on having so much in regards to music being out there. It is so amazing. So I'm just going to bring our presentation back up here and let's see. So we've got wellness, obviously, you know, again, that whole focus on the music and everything else that we can do. But now we've got the Grand Ole Opry, and I remember being here, years ago, and it was like amazing.
The Opry is so unique. I'm not sure is the PowerPoint back on? I don't know if we could see it or.
Let's see here. Hold on 1 second.
Well, and I will just speak while you're doing that. But yeah, the reason why I wanted to throw in that last image of the Grand Ole Opry is because you saw in the trailer that the songwriter was portrayed in that portion of the Brad Paisley song, and then it went right into Brad Paisley performing on the Opry stage. And so really there is such a process in songwriting, and I think that the singers and the artists really do give the rights to the songwriters, and they appreciate them. And some performers are songwriters as well, but some are not. And so it's just the overall concept of music. It really is therapy. It is wellness for the soul. And going to an Opry show, I think you just kind of feel the energy when you walk into the Opry. It's a live recorded performance, and that's just one example of our live venues in Nashville. But there are over 100, and I believe we have over 170 music venues in Nashville.
Oh my God, you guys have so much. So, we talk about so many things that you can do. So you've got a run,
yes,
where you've got tours that people actually can go running and take a look at the city and really experience all of the major pieces of it. So you have the state capitol, you have baseball, honky tonky, music, so much.
Yeah, so I mean, we have a huge list of tour companies in Nashville. Everyone does something. And this specific tour company, and being that we're talking about wellness, they try to bring together a city tour along with being active and doing some type of fitness. So everyone knows that that we have those runners in our friends groups and our family that will jump up, at the crack of dawn and go on a run, even if they're on vacation. And so this tour provides them just that. So there are 3 different tours, and you do a 5K distance on any of those 3 tours. And they take you to either the Sound Stadium, which is our minor league baseball team, and then you climb the stairs to the Capitol, so you learn the city's history. Like you said, we have a one that takes you to the sports venue, so Nissan Stadium, where our NFL Titans play, and then it takes you to Bridgestone Arena, where our Nashville Predators, which is our hockey team, plays. And then there's one that goes right down Lower Broadway, and you're running, and not necessarily having a cocktail in hand yet, but you're running, listening to the live music, and you're taking in all that Nashville energy. So yeah, definitely a different way to experience a city tour.
Yeah, I mean, I love it. I think that's super awesome and so creative of your folks. So guys, as you're listening to all of this and we're kind of getting you, into those amazing experiences where we really want you to at wellness, right? So, and here's an opportunity where you can have some amazing water experience. And so this is an indoor and outdoor. So, you can't tell me that it's too cold because you can do this indoor.
Exactly. So this is the new Sound Waves luxury water experience at Gaylord Opryland. When we think of wellness, I think a lot of us think of self-care and just relaxing and taking it easy. And so Sound Waves is an indoor-outdoor, correct? So, after the summer seasons, it could be snowing in March here, which we do sometimes get a little white snow here in Nashville, but it is set to 80 degrees. And so you could actually be going down a water slide or floating through the lazy river. The third top level is an adult only level with an infinity pool and a bar. So yeah, you can enjoy, you can relax, and really do some self-care at Gaylord Opryland.
And that's so awesome. So lots of stuff going on food-wise. So we go from wellness because, that mind, body, spirit, and now we're going to go eat, right? So we need some of that great cultural immersion. And Nashville hot chicken, I mean, that's a theme in itself.
Exactly. So it's really, the hot chicken concept was created many, many years ago, but it's really blown up in the past 10 years. So the first original hot chicken was Prince's Hot Chicken. I think if you come to Nashville now, you could probably see hot chicken on any restaurant menu. But it was created by accident. And I don't know if you've ever heard the story of how the hot chicken was created, but the Prince family, further back down the line, one of the uncles came home after a very late night, and he had asked his girlfriend to make him something to eat before he went to bed and soak up all that alcohol. And so with a little revenge, she decided to make the spiciest fried chicken that she could think of, putting in all these peppers and hot spices from her kitchen. Little to her expectations did she realize he would love it. And so years later, him and his brother created the recipe for their own and opened up Prince's Hot Chicken. And that was around like the 1930s, they created the recipe and opened up their first cafe. So you could see on that little image where it says heat levels. I mean, it really goes from your most mild to what they call
cluck up. I love it.
So I highly recommend, even if you think you're a heat expert, start from mild because it will still blow you away.
And I like how they call Southern no heat.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So for those of us who are not heat fans, the Southern no heat might even be the level that we really need to start at, because that is a mild.
Exactly. It is served over a piece of white bread to hopefully kind of absorb some of that heat. But it's still definitely something to work your way up if you are at all curious, at all scared about, starting from any specific level.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally get it. So now I was really enticed by the Goo Goo Cluster, because the Goo Goo Cluster, I love candy in general. I'm a big girl. I love my sweets. And so this was so amazing to really understand how this actually happens and what experience you can have.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, they're located in downtown Nashville, which is great. You can grab lunch and then go get your sweet right after. You could take an experience on, as you mentioned, but the Goo Goo Cluster is the first combination candy bar in the United States. So other than your Hershey's chocolate or your just taffy bar, in 1912, Standard Candy Company created this Goo Goo Cluster. So it was a mound of caramel, marshmallow nougat, roasted peanuts, and milk chocolate. And now they have 3 types of Goo Goo clusters that you could find in their dessert shop. And as you mentioned, there are 3 experiences. So there's a behind the bar experience where you create your own premium Goo Goo. That's in the middle picture right there. So it's a larger Goo Goo, probably like the size of a big palm. and you put whatever ingredients you want in it. And then that follows up with drinking all these yummy chocolate milkshake drinks. Then there's a second one that is the dessert bar. You do the same. On all three of these, you make your own premium goo goo, which to me is awesome because you put in what you want. Like I put sprinkles in everything.
Well,
and then
you're so colorful, so we have to, right? So I mean, we're in hospitality.
Yes, sprinkles go in everything. Even if they have just chocolate sprinkles, I'm picking those.
That's awesome.
And then
I love
that
it.
one, that one you get to try their different sample of treats. And then the third one is going to be making a goo goo and then doing a chocolate and wine pairing from a local winery that we have, Arrington Vineyards.
Ooh, okay, girlfriend getaways. I think we have something here. Bachelorette parties.
Yes, definitely.
We definitely need to add this to your itinerary because, I mean, this is just something so fun to do that, and I mean, you're creating, it's chemistry. So we're doing that science class, families with children. I mean, this is great. So really having a great opportunity, but oh my God, I just see you guys all having such a great time doing this. So this is a must on your itinerary.
It definitely is. I mean, I go to different shows throughout the year and we travel, and the first thing they do when they come up to the Nashville booth is, did you bring the goo goos? So we now make sure that we bring goo goos everywhere we go. Sometimes in the summer, it kind of melts a little. We're like, just throw it in the freezer.
That's so funny, but you know what? But you gotta have it, and then you make your own version. So that's even great because now you can have your own flavor.
Yes. Oh, and sorry about that. The other two, other than the originals, the peanut butter and the pecan. So.
Oh, how awesome is that? So let's talk about some of the distilleries, the wines, and everything else. Obviously, we know about Jack Daniel's.
Yes. So Nashville has Middle Tennessee in general has quite a few distilleries, microbreweries. We have a moonshine distillery, and also we have a cidery in Nashville. So a lot of people think of Nashville and they want to go to Jack Daniel's. Jack Daniel's is well known, and it's a great place to get a tour and the process of a Tennessee whiskey. It is a little further outside of town though. So what most don't realize is that it's a good 45-minute to an hour drive outside of town in Lynchburg, Tennessee. So we, talk about Jack Daniel's all the time, but there are so many closer distilleries as well. So we have Nelson's Greenbrier Distillery, which is located 1.5 miles from Lower Broadway. Awesome. We have Corsair Distillery. These are all like micro batch distilleries in the area. We also have a lot of breweries, and one of our favorites is we just Old Smoky Moonshine, which was in Gatlinburg area, just opened up a moonshine distillery in Nashville. So now we are also making moonshine.
How awesome is that? So here, again, girls getaways or guys getaways, you guys want to do some, some of that wine tasting and then go on to that moonshine and then go on to the whiskey. Maybe you need a day for each. I definitely say that Jack Daniel's, if you're going to do something that far away, we'll plan something for you so that way you don't have to drive. And then for those that are located, really close downtown, we can easily schedule something nice so that you can go have a good time and then, again, not worry about driving. So we'll get all your transportation taken care of for you. Yeah. So, but all of these things can be obviously pre-organized, but Jack Daniel's, I would say separate that for another day, just so that you can enjoy that and be on their grounds for quite some time, because you really want to.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned
something
that.
Along those lines.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. It is a great experience. We have plenty of tour companies that do just that. They pick you up in a specific spot in downtown. They take you down to Mary Bobo's, which is a great restaurant to eat lunch at. You do some shopping in Lynchburg. And then, yes, of course, we have plenty of tour companies here that do even mixing. They'll do like a distillery and donuts for the girlfriend getaway group. So, I mean, who doesn't want to start their day off with some mimosas and cocktails and mini donuts?
Yeah, I mean, that is super awesome. So, I have so many of you guys too who always ask me for doing whiskey tours and things like that. So here is definitely an option where we're going to have all of the opportunities. So as you guys want to get away, it doesn't have to necessarily be a long weekend. Now that we're all kind of, quote unquote, working from home, we can change our dates, right? So we can maybe do this midweek as well. And so midweek pricing tends to be a little gentler on our budgets.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. So with that, and here's some local brew places that we didn't get a chance to chat about, but I love, that there's so many things that we can do. And I love the quote on the bottom where it's not Nashville is a drinking town with a music problem.
Exactly.
That's awesome. I totally love it. But you guys have an exciting beer culture. You'll be certainly enjoying lots of that. So if you want to go and just hang out, the local breweries, taste the stuff, and really, give the locals an opportunity to wow you, because that's what they're going to do. So with that, we're going to go a little bit off the beaten path. And so I had asked Staci to give us something that was truly things that only locals know. And the Listening Room Cafe is where we're going to start.
Yeah, so a lot of people think of Nashville, and I think they right away think of country music or the Opry or even the Country Music Hall of Fame. But as I mentioned, we really do respect our songwriters, and we have a special place for them. And so the Listening Room was founded in 2006. The owner himself is a singer and songwriter, and he just felt that there was nowhere in Nashville that provided a venue really to focus on the songwriter. And it was not so much of a honky tonk blaring music, as well as people partying and drinking, but something that people were quiet and focused on the stories behind the songs and listened to the songwriters. And so there's a few, listening room concepts in Nashville, but this is the Listening Room. And it's where we listen to the heroes behind the songs. And so normally you'll see a lineup of 4 to 5, maybe artists. They'll just be on a stool holding their guitar, and they'll go through the songwriter round. So in an hour and a half show, you might hear 5 rounds of songs. And these songwriters, on any given day, you're going to walk in and you're just going to be amazed and think, why did I not hear this name before? Well, it's probably because you didn't realize they wrote that song. But these artists are writing for the big names and are, the chart-topping artists of all of the different genres, not just country, but Americana, pop, folk, all of that. So it's great. It's located in downtown Nashville in the Sobro area. And it's very similar to, I'm sure a lot of people have also heard of, like the Bluebird Cafe. So This is that same concept as the Bluebird Cafe. It's just a larger scale, so it fits more people. The Bluebird, I think, got really popular on Nashville on the ABC show Nashville, and it only fits 90-something people. So the Listening Room provides you that opportunity for that same experience without standing outside sometimes for a few hours to get a seat.
Right, and now with social distancing, it's probably occupancies are less.
Yeah, it's actually currently not open, where the Listening Room is open right now. So because it is spacious, but it still, like I said, has that experience of just putting all eyes on the songwriter. I highly recommend it. Anytime I have anyone in town, I take them to the Listening Room.
That's awesome. And so again, another place where we can go, and this is a venue that you can really experience, the night on the town.
100%.
So with that, we're going to talk about having a studio tour, because a studio tour is really where you're going to have a lot of those behind the scenes, right?
Exactly. So I think in the past, I would say 5+ years, Nashville has really pulled the red curtain back and allowed our tourists our visitors to really see what's going on in our music studios. And so there are different opportunities, but I wanted to highlight this one because Megan Lindsley and Tyler Kane, they are just kind of that dynamic duo. She's very funny and kind of quirky, and he's very technical, and between the two of them, it's just great to meet them, and they're very approachable. And so you go to their studio. They actually are just opening up a new one in Midtown area, and you get to meet them. You have an intimate acoustic performance. They do a Q&A with you, they take photos with you, and you really get to see what a Nashville recording studio looks like. And I think, before that, we wouldn't be able to imagine, like, what does the studio look like? How do they actually record? But now we're going to be able to sit in their recording studio, and they're going to perform for us 6 feet away, 6 feet away for social distancing.
Exactly. Oh my God. And how amazing is that? And so again, music feeds the soul, and Nashville is really doing that for us. So it's giving us that wellness, that whole experience of that mind, body, spirit. And again, we really need to kind of go and do that. So there's lots of neighborhoods that we can go and explore, and those are essentially off the beaten path as well.
Yeah, definitely. So I always like to talk about all our other neighborhoods. We have over 20 plus neighborhoods in Davidson County. So Nashville, everyone thinks of all the honky tonks and that one strip of neon signs with the music blasting out of it. But really all of these different museums and attractions and tours, they take you in all the different areas. And then there's some that you really wouldn't explore if you didn't look at a list or a video that we'll show in a moment. But some of the areas focus on the locals or eclectic or shopping, or it's just all eateries, or maybe where all you find all the college students. So we could, play the video, and then I just want to talk a little bit about some ones that I highly suggest people check out, and get out of Broadway for a bit and explore what Nashville has to offer.
Yeah, so let's do that. And these amazing neighborhoods.
I feel like new sunglasses, like a brand new pair of jeans. I feel like taking chances. I feel a lot like 17.
You can watch this all day.
I feel like windows roll down new city streets and cabs. I feel like anything can happen.
You guys see that zip lining over there?
Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and I don't even think of touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new.
Hey guys, are we in love yet? Because I definitely am. Hello. We all need to go to Nashville. All these neighborhoods. Do you realize we can't do all of them in a weekend? We need at least a week or more. Or multiple trips. Just saying.
Never thought it'd feel like this. Like when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and I don't even think of touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an open page, like a one-way trip on an aeroplane. It's the way that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new.
And to think that this is only a portion of the neighborhood.
Like when I close my eyes and don't when I close my eyes and don't even care if anyone sees me dancing. Like I can fly and I don't even think you're touching the ground. Like a heartbeat skip, like an
So many neighborhoods.
like a one-way trip on an airplane. So that I feel when I'm with you. Brand new.
I love it. Oh my God. Oh gosh. You guys, this is just absolutely amazing.
So as I mentioned, quite a few neighborhoods to check out. And I just think that sometimes people miss that, you know, and they go to maybe Music Valley or Opryland area and downtown, and there's so much in between, and really for every type of personality, all the different interests.
Totally. And I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm going, I just want to go, like, I want to go experience the dancing, the music, the food. Oh, I just need to go and like, we just need to get to Nashville, guys. I mean, that's just all I can tell you. So, and now let's, talk a little bit about history, right? So there's so much because the state in itself has, not only so much of the Civil War, the Reconstruction, a lot of the original history of our founding fathers, but also where we have the ratified pieces of the suffrage movement.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually brought that up. So it has been to this year 100 years since the 19th Amendment, which is when women got the right to vote. And so it was in 1920, right? Yes, go girl. 1920, we needed 36 states to approve it, and it was stalled at 35. And so Tennessee was the best hope that our nation had for this amendment to be ratified, and we approved it. So, I mean, it's just exciting. Like you said, there's a lot of other history. So that photo is our Tennessee State Museum. It opened in October of 2018. And really the museum before just wasn't large enough to house all the history that our state has to offer. So there's now a Tennessee time tunnel that actually talks about or, depicts all the years prior to it becoming a state. Like you said, the Civil War, just all of the different transformations that the state of Tennessee has had. And then there's also temporary exhibits, which are really fun, like the one that I just spoke of right now. There was one before that that was called Let's Eat, and it was the origins and evolution of Tennessee food. So it talked about Southern cuisine. Have you that iron skillet, that big iron skillet that you could take in and out of your oven? So yes. Lodge is the company that created that, and they're based in Tennessee. And so they talked about, the Lodge company and the Cornbread Festival that we have in Tennessee. So really just a lot of fun, unique facts along with the history of our state.
And that's so awesome. So here, the chefs, if you missed that, let's do that again. There's culinary history here that you need to experience, because that is where we got our cast iron skillets from. And so I, as a chef, love to hear all of that. I love the history of food, and I love how much it has evolved. So Tennessee is where we need to go, and especially Nashville. So let's kind of, keep that in mind, guys. So with that, there's so much more, again, with the Hall of Fame of music, the country, just everything. And so let's talk about some of this stuff.
Okay, so yeah, in the realm of travel as a living classroom, the Country Music Hall of Fame is home to now Hat Show Print. So Hat Show Print is a letterpress printing company, and if any of you do not know what letterpress printing is, it's the process in which basically raised blocks with ink surfaces. So it's just a wood block, or it could be a metal block, or even a linoleum block. And they're just pressed against paper. So they're rolled through a roller and it's pressed against the paper, which creates this letterpress prints. It could be posters, it could be, you know, wall decor, it could, whatever it is. So it was moved from Printer's Alley, then it was on Lower Broadway at one point, and now it's home at the Country Music Hall of Fame. It still produces over 600 poster jobs each year. It makes a poster for every Ryman concert that is performed at the Ryman Auditorium. And really it's a bona fide analog institution that survived and is thriving in the digital age. So, you know, I guess we probably all thought that any type of manual analog print would be lost with all of our computer and futuristic digital processing, but this concept is still around, it's still working, and I think people just love it because it is, you know, something that you can't change. They haven't added any alphabets to their blocks. They use all original alphabet blocks. So the only images you see that are new are going to be obviously if you add a sketch of a person's face or an image, but all of the letters are all original.
That is super awesome. And is this something that you can actually go and do yourself? Because I see people in these pictures. Is this something?
Yes, ma'am. So you could go in and you learn about the process. Groups of 20 or smaller. So if a family of 5 can easily go in and take a tour of the facility. They're constantly working. So someone will be explaining as you see people in the back rolling posters through. And then that image on the left, that's their back room where you could go and print a poster yourself. They'll have 2 posters to choose from, and you could print one through. Yes.
What a great souvenir and a memory, a keepsake. So not only can you do, take your kids, so hey, this is something that will be impressed in not only in actual paper, but in their minds, right? So their entire trip. You guys, again, we talk about the girlfriend, the bachelorette parties, the guy getaways, the bachelor parties and all that kind of stuff. You can now have a memory that really takes you and brings you to that next level, right? So you can make a poster to commemorate your wonderful trip.
Yep, exactly.
Super, super amazing.
And
Love
for
it.
your girlfriend getaways that you just mentioned, they even do something called the block party sometimes, and they'll take it outside and ladies could pick a canvas bag, or there's a couple other items to choose from, and you could print on that rather than a poster, because like you said, some people want to take away something that they could use or something that would be more workable for their lifestyle.
Yeah, absolutely. How awesome is that? So definitely on your itinerary that I make for you, we're always going to have you come in here. So lots of, again, we've talked about lots of different history, you know, arts and cultural attractions. And so we really want to make sure that you guys see all of these different places. This happens to be the landmark slide of where we're kind of focused on. But, you know, there's so many different plantations as well. And so, you know, this is a great opportunity to see how people lived.
Yeah, so we have, and these last 2 slides basically was for me to at least list the things that we don't have time to talk about today because there's really so much. So these are our historical landmarks. So we have Andrew Jackson's Hermitage. He was the people's president. So there's history on the mansion, the garden and the grounds, the Jackson tombstone, and also history of the enslaved families that lived on his hermitage. And then there is Belmead Plantation and Winery, and it began in 1807 with just a log cabin and 250 acres. But 2 families, the Harding and the Jackson families, along with the workers who lived on the site before and after emancipation, built the site to become one of the largest thoroughbred horse farms in the South. And so they trained these thoroughbred horses, and it just became, you know, they had a legacy there. We also have Belmont Mansion, and then historic Travelers Rest and Plantation and Museum. So really a lot of different historical landmarks to offer for learning experiences.
And how awesome is that? And then of course you've got, again, we talked about the State Museum earlier, but you have, you know, an art museum, you have the Parthenon. There's just so much.
Yep. So we have, like you said, the State Museum. We have the Frisk, which is art. We have Peakwood Estate and Gardens, which is a botanical outside gardens, as well as you could tour the inside of the mansion. We have the Skirmahorn Symphony Center, our Tennessee Performing Arts Center, and then this image right here is going to be the Parthenon. So it's located in Centennial Park, and it is a full-scale replica of the original Parthenon in Athens. And it was originally built to be just a temporary exhibit as part of the Tennessee Centennial Exposition. But the city loved it so much that they did not want it to be torn down. So at one point it was torn down to be built by limestone and marble and things like that so that it could remain in the city. And it now sits in our park, and it's a beautiful sight to see.
That's super awesome. So thank you so much, Staci. I really appreciate you sharing all of these amazing things with us, because this is, I mean, Nashville is a hidden treasure. And I think that a lot of people don't realize all of the amazing pieces that you have just showed us. So with those beautiful guitars in the background that you've got, I know we can't play them. Neither can I.
Yes, I will not be able to play them. I would not be able to strum a tune, but they look great on the wall.
Absolutely. So, what are your last pieces to say to the folks who are watching?
I would just say that really, I think you had mentioned this partway through the presentation, but it's take some time in Nashville. Don't just come for a weekend and expect to get everything out of the city that you hope for. I mean, if you're coming just for some music and a getaway, then that's great. But if you really want to experience the full city and all it has to offer, food, arts, culture, music, all the above, then take a good 3 or 4 days, because that's really what you'll need to feel that you've got your full fill on Nashville, and you'll probably still come back a second or third time.
Yeah, I mean, all those neighborhoods we talked about, there's like over 20 of them. So to be able to do that in 3 or 4 days, that's a lot. That's like go, 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 go. So I really would like to invite everyone who is listening and to either say, you know what, I'm going to go to Nashville for two or three different trips, or I'm going to go and I'm going to spend a week, or so, and really learning and experiencing all the different neighborhoods and having all the experiences. So thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate you sharing all of this. And with that, I say namaste until the next time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care. Bye, everybody.